Shalom. Call Halani Yahweh Shemi Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and the apostles, a great millstone rule well. Shalom to the 144,000. The 1/3 remnant men, women, children of the whole for elect. Shalom. This the brother Gabar Yas coming back at you in another lesson. Through this man empowering Yahweh Shemi Shai, praise let's be edifying straight to the point. I ain't gonna jump right into it. Alright. This is from the People's Voice.tv, and it says NATO to urgently build more cemeteries for mass casualties upon in upcoming World War III. NATO has begun urgently building more cemeteries in Europe for mass casualties in an upcoming World War III. Sweden has become the first European country to join forces with NATO and secure land to bury millions of its citizens. Which that's not going to happen because what does the Bible say? Let's get the scripture. Let's go to Jeremiah 25 and 33. Jeremiah 25 and verse 33. And the slain of the Lord Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. So the fact that they've been cemeteries is to bury the citizens during World War III, man. Okay? Like it says, bodies are going to be laid out on the ground, man. Okay? Especially here in Babylon, the Great America, man. Okay? When those missiles hit, all right, these bodies are not going to be buried. Okay? Because, hey, and really, those bodies ain't going to be buried until after, World War III, after when Yahushua comes back and returns and put an end to Esau's kingdom. And hey, and we put these devils into slavery. And what their first job is going to be is burying the bodies. So the bodies are not going to be buried until after World War III and after the smoke done cleared, man, from the ICBM nuclear missiles and the nuclear destruction and Esau's kingdom, okay? We don't know how long we're going to be up in the chariot, the fathership chariot, okay? But after we come down out of those chariots, all right, Lord willing, I'm a part of that number, okay? Lord willing, us brothers, okay, out there that preach this truth with all righteousness and sincerity that are part of that number, okay? We be a part of the 144,000 mighty men as, right, the New Jerusalem that's going to come down. And hey, we're going to gather these heathens and these Edomites out of those bunkers, man, and they're gonna be the first fruits of slaves, okay? And we're talking about the elites of Edom because the rest of the Edomites, they're gonna be, they're gonna, die on this side. The low level Edomites are gonna die on this side, 2/3, and the heathens that here in Babylon, they're gonna die on this side. The elites are the ones that are going to escape, all right, the destruction, okay? They're going to escape the destruction, but once they think they're gonna escape and then they're gonna come out and rebuild, like it says in what's that? Malachi chapter 1 and verse 4. All right. They should, like I said, they should return and build a desolate place. They shall build, but I will throw down. All right. But the Lord Yahshua is not gonna allow that to happen. Okay. And afterwards, okay, these devils think they're gonna come out and rebuild their whole world and all this after the smoke then cleared, man. After that smoke cleared, the 144,000 mighty men are gonna come down out of those chariots. Okay, we're gonna gather these heathen nations, all right, and the Edomites out of these bunkers. Okay, it may be some heathens that got some bunkers as well. All right. But hey, the heathen nations and these upper level Edomites are going to be the first fruits of slavery. Okay, and what's going to be their first job? Let's go to it. As in Ezekiel, Ezekiel chapter 30, I think it's 39, I believe. It's 39, and let's see. Where is that? trying to freeze up. Well, that's talking about, well, that right there. All right, the weapons are going to be destroyed. Okay, what I'm looking for, where is that? Yeah, right here. Let's see where I want to start. Let's start at verse 12. All right, this is Ezekiel chapter 39, verse 12. And 7 months shall the house of Israel be burying of them, that they may cleanse the land. Verse 13, ye all the people of the land shall bury them, and it shall be to them a renown the day that I shall be glorified, said the Lord Yahweh Shai. Verse 14, let's continue. And they shall serve out men of continual employment. And these are the heathen nations, man. Okay? And the Edomites, man. Talking about the upper level Edomites, because they're going to be the first fruits of slavery. They're going into captivity. And their first job is going to be is burying the bodies, man. Okay? And they shall serve out men of continual employment, passing through the land to bury with the passengers those that remain upon the face of the earth, to cleanse it. And after the end of 7 months shall they search. Okay, so 7 months, these heathen nations are going to be burying the bodies of those that got put to death during World War III, and of course, you know, from the laser beam fires from the chariots of the Lord Yahweh Shai. Okay, you know, but hey, they talking about building cemeteries, man. So what cemeteries? Let's go back to Jeremiah chapter 25 verse 33. And there's plenty of places where it says that these bodies are not going to be lamented, nor buried, nor gathered. Because death is going to be at that day from one end of the earth to the other. Let's go get it back. Let's go back and get it. We're going to go back to the article. And the slaying of the Lord, this is Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 33. And the slaying of the Lord Yahweh shall be at that day from one end of the earth to even to the other end of the earth. They shall not be lamented, neither gathered, nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground. So you're going to have bodies laying upon the ground, even really before the missiles fire, man, because people are going to be dying from pestilent diseases, famines, okay? They're going to be dying all kinds of things, man. And as a matter of fact, let's prove it. Let's stay here in Jeremiah. Jeremiah 15 and let's start at verse 2. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Shai, such as are for death to death, such as are for the sword to the sword, such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. So if you're meant to be put to death on this side, you're going to be put to death, whether it's by the sword, famine, or being locked up in one of those FEMA camps, man, where they got those guillotines. Okay? Verse 3. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, said the Lord Yahweh Shai. The sword to slay, and the dogs to tear. So a lot of folks gonna be getting put to death by the sword. And the ultimate sword is the ICBM nuclear missile. But before that, the race wars, the race riots, civil unrest, okay? You're gonna have folks getting put to death by dogs and animals. Alright, spirits created for vengeance, the teeth of wild beasts, and the fowls of the heavens, and the beasts of the earth to devour and destroy. So spirits created for vengeance. Okay? Really before those missiles begin to fly, a lot of folks gonna be getting put to death. And their bodies just gonna be laying on the ground. Okay? Yeah, you're gonna have a lot of casualties during World War III too. But hey, way before World War III. Okay? There's gonna be a whole lot of casualties. Okay? Because 2/3 of Israel gonna be getting put to death. These heathens gonna be getting put to death, and these Edomites gonna be getting put to death. The only ones that's gonna escape is the elites, because they're gonna flee what? To their doomsday bunkers. They're already talking about that. Okay? They're going to flee to their doomsday bunkers, the undersea bunkers, etc. Okay? Let's go to Jeremiah 16. There's another one. It's Jeremiah 16. And let's see. Let's start at verse 4. Jeremiah 16, verse 4. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried. Did you hear that? Let's read it again. Let's start at the top. Jeremiah chapter 16, verse 4. They shall not, they shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth. So bodies gonna be lying on the ground, man, decaying. And that's what more disease are gonna be. Okay? And after World War III, then the body's gonna be buried. After the smoke then cleared from the missiles. Okay, and the destruction. Then the slaves of the heathens and these Edomites, they're gonna spend 7 months burying those bodies. Okay? And they shall be consumed by the sword. Consumed by what sword? The ICBM nuclear missiles during World War III. And by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of the heavens, the birds, because the birds are also going to have a nice feast. Tells that, I think, in Revelation chapter 19, I believe. Okay? And for the beasts of the earth. There you go. Let's go back to the article now. All right. The Burial Association in Sweden's second largest city, Gothenburg, is trying to acquire additional land to assure casket sites for some 30,000 dead, on top of what is needed for graveyards for regular use, AP wrote on Sunday. Swedish media outlets report earlier this month that the authorities were bracing for up to 500,000 potential fatalities if the country were to enter into a full-scale war, which is going to happen, and we're very, very close to that happening. Okay? America, Babylon the Great, and all these nations are going to go into a full-scale war, man. World War III, like it tells you in the Revelation 11 and 14. Revelation 11 and 14. The second war is past, and behold, the third war coming quickly. In big cities, land resources are scarce to begin with and not always significant to meet burial ground needs for ground needs even in times of calm and peace. AP quoted Catherine Katrina Seth, senior advisor at the Goldberg Board Burial Associates, as saying. Alright, so let's see. I'm not going to read all of this, man. Let's read a little bit more. Let's read this paragraph here. It says, in October, the Swedish Civil Contingencies Agency released update civil preparedness guides with instructions on how to survive during an armed conflict. The, the brochure, dubbed in case of crisis or war, contain advice on evacuation. Anybody gonna be able to evacuate, man? Okay. How to stop bleeding and other recommendations. Okay, so yeah, it ain't gonna work. Okay, because we're entering into a time like no other. Okay. Let's see. Let's read a little bit more. It says Stockholm dropped decades of military non-alliances, joined NATO in March, aimed the conflict between Russia and Ukraine. The U.S.-led bloc has been supporting Kyiv by providing military aid, and in November, Washington authorized strikes using its missiles deep inside Russian territory. France has also suggested that Ukraine should be allowed to fire its missiles into Russia in self-defense, and Moscow has claimed that British supplied Storm Shadow have already been used in such strikes. Moscow has that the move, uh, the move makes NATO a direct party to the conflict. Okay, let's see. That's pretty much it. I'm not gonna read the rest of this, but hey, as you can see, let's get some more scriptures, man. Because hey, building those cemeteries is just useless. Okay, let's get some more scriptures. Let's go to Second Ezra. Let's get Second Ezra chapter 16 and verse 18. The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the power shall stand in fear. The beginning of evils, what shall I do when these evils shall come? Okay. Verse 19. Behold, famine, plague, tribulation, and anguish shall send as scourges for amendment. Okay. That's what all these things are being sent for. Verse 20. But for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Verse 21, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon earth that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon the earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. A lot of folks are going to die, man. There's going to be a lot of death. There ain't going to be nobody to comfort the dead, which we're about to go into. Verse 22, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the others that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. Yeah, a lot of folks, like I said, a lot of folks gonna be dying of pestilent diseases, famines, tribulation during Jacob's trouble. There ain't gonna be nobody to comfort these bodies. Okay? And as a matter of fact, let's continue on. Verse 23, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them. Not gonna be nobody to bury those bodies, man. Just like we read in Jeremiah chapter 25, verse 33, and Jeremiah chapter 16 and verse 4. Okay? They're just gonna be there. For the earth shall be wasted and the city shall be cast down. Let's get this in the Good News translation. As a matter of fact, let's get before we do that, hold on. Where we at here? Second Kings, okay. All right, let's go. Let's get Let's get Jeremiah. That's Song of Solomon. Jeremiah 25 verse 32. Let's see what that says in the Good News translation before we go to Second Ezra. All right. Yeah, let's read this right here. Yeah, Jeremiah chapter 25 verse 33 in the Good News translation. On that day, the bodies of those whom the Lord Yahweh has killed will lie scattered from one end of the earth to the other. Yeah, judgment. No one will mourn for them. No, it's like no one will mourn for them, and they will not be taken away and buried. See, there you go. They will lie on the ground like piles of manure. How clear can you get, man? How clear can you get? That's plain and simple. And what is manure? You know what? We all know what manure is. Okay, we all know what that is. You ain't got to say it. We all know. It's basically shit. Okay. They're saying like Benson saying like piles of shit on the ground. All right, they should be trodden down like the mire of the streets, like shit in the streets, man. Bodies just gonna be laying all over the place. There ain't gonna be nobody to bury these bodies and anything like that, man. Let's get Jeremiah 16. Let's see what that says. Jeremiah 16 and um, verse 4. Jeremiah 16 verse 4 in the Good News Translation. They will die of terrible diseases, and no one will mourn for them nor bury them. Okay? Their bodies will lie like piles of manure on the ground. How clear can you get, man? All right? Not like you say. It's not just World War III. But you're going to have bodies lying on the ground like, you know, piles of manure. And then the ICBM nuclear missiles, they going to be burnt up. These people going to be burnt up, especially here in Babylon the Great. These people are just going to melt. Okay? Like it tells you in Zechariah chapter 14, verse 12, man. Their flesh is going to consume away where they stand. So how are you going to bury bodies when folks done consumed away? Come on. They will be killed in war or die of starvation, and their bodies will be food for the birds and for the wild animals. Yeah. And most of these bodies you ain't got to worry about burying. Because like it says, it's gonna be food for the birds and they're gonna be food for the wild animals. Wild animals are gonna be feasting off of these corpses. These birds, what's these birds like to feast off? And it's gonna be all types of birds, man. It's gonna be the vultures, it's gonna be the turkey vultures, these buzzards, you know? A lot of birds, man, a lot of animals. And we're going to get that scripture too, by the way. Okay, let's continue. Actually, we're done with this. Let's move on. Let's go to not Jeremiah, but Revelation. Actually, no. Let's go to Second Ezra before we go to Revelation. Revelation. Let's go to Second Ezra. I'm trying to say it's lucky. Golly. Let's go down here and let's just read the point. He says, all right, this is Second Ezra chapter 16 verse 22. Many people on earth will starve to death, and those who escape starvation will be killed in war. Verse 23, their corpse will be thrown out like garbage, and there will be no one left to comfort the living. The earth will be deserted and its cities demolished. There you go. Okay. So let's go look for this scripture I was talking about. We're going to come back. Let's go to Revelation, where it talks about, the supper. Let's get it. I don't want to butcher it. Okay? I don't want to butcher it. So let's just go and get it. I think it's Revelation 19. Let's see. Where is it? Yeah, right here. Right here. Revelation chapter 19, verse 17. And let's just read verse 17 and 18, okay? Revelation chapter 19, verse 17 and 18. It says, and I saw an angel standing in the sun, and he cried with a loud voice, saying to all the fowls that fly in the midst of heaven, that's the birds, man, come and gather yourselves together unto the supper of the great power. Yahweh Shemi Shai, verse 18. That ye may eat the flesh of kings, and the flesh of captains, and the flesh of mighty men, and the flesh of horses, and all and of them that sat on them. All right, that's talking about them the military. All right. And the flesh of all men, both free and bond, small and great. There you go. Okay. So that's what's gonna happen. And as a matter of fact, let's get this in the Good News Translation. Yeah. Reminds me of a song from Genesis because they mentioned it in this song called Supper Ready. Says this is the supper of the mighty one. Anyway, let's go to right here. Okay. This is Revelation chapter 19, verse 17, 18 in the Good News Translation. Then I saw an angel standing on the sun. Standing, not gonna, well, you know what? We don't know. We'll have to wait and see. He could be standing, well, an angel might be standing on the sun, man, because, hey, the angels gonna, hey, angels are spiritual angelic creatures, man. He shouted in a loud voice to all for Yahweh's great feast. Come and eat the flesh of kings, generals, soldiers, the flesh of horses and their riders, the flesh of all people, slave and free, great and small. There you go. So all that, building building cemeteries, that ain't gonna. What use is that gonna be? Okay, let's go back to the article. What use is that gonna be? Okay, and we just proved that these bodies are not gonna be buried until after the smoke done cleared and the 144,000 come down out of the chariots and gathered these heathen nations and these Edomites into captivity. Okay, and then the bodies are gonna be buried for 7 months. The ones that are left, basically. Okay, but the birds are gonna have a nice little feast day. Now, wild animals are gonna have a nice little feast day. Okay, these bodies are not gonna be buried. They're gonna just be lying on the ground, decaying. Birds are gonna be having a nice little feast day. Okay, we just proved that. So with that, let's see, anything else? Nope, that's pretty much it. I'm gonna end it here, man. So Lord, we're in our prayers lesson was edifying and straight to the point. All praises and glorifications goes to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, by Hashem, Rakak Wadash. It's on to the next one. Shalom, Kwam Yasharala, Wa Ababa Ball. Shalom.